Cat hair on my lip gloss. Welcome back to my channel. If you have never been here before, my name is Kayla Leah, and if you have been here before, welcome back. So this is the beginning of a new series that I am starting on my channel. I know, I feel like I just started a series the last video. That series is still gonna go on, my favorite series, but this is a separate series. This is my overall moving tips series. I have lived in 2 states in the past year, and I am currently prepping to move to a new state. This is all for work. This job does require me to move a lot, but it's kind of cool because I get to experience a lot of different places and learn a lot about the moving experience as well as the apartment hunting experience. And I will have a lot of follow-up videos explaining different things like how to move to a different state, things to know about getting your first apartment by yourself, and so on and so forth. If there's any other topics that you would like to see from me, definitely let me know down below. Anything that kind of falls in like the moving category, especially if you have any questions that you want me to answer in any future videos that I am going to be doing. I don't know how many episodes I'm gonna have in this series. I'm gonna basically just have you guys follow me on this journey as I move to my new home in the next few weeks. So for today's video, I am going to go over the pros and the cons of living in Houston, Texas. I have been living here for the past year, and though I am not an expert on Houston, I think I have a pretty good idea about, you know, what's actually good here and what sucks here. So I wrote down all of my pros and cons in my little notebook right here, and let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna basically bounce back and forth between the pros and the cons because some of them have to do with each other. Celine, mommy's not playing, mommy's filming. Cats, man. Okay, so the number one pro that I found pretty awesome when I moved here was the fact that this state has no income tax. Listen, I know this is a very adult sounding pro, but if you make money, if you have a job, you definitely understand the importance of having no state income tax. That's one less tax that you have to pay when you are getting your either weekly or bi-weekly paychecks. I loved that this state had no state income tax, especially moving from Florida, because Florida also doesn't have state income tax. Unfortunately, the state I am moving to does have state income tax, but it is a very low percentage, so I don't think it's going to affect my paychecks too much. Hopefully it doesn't, because mama likes her money, let me tell you, and mama doesn't like it when you bite her. No. Now, one of the cons, unfortunately, is Houston has honestly some of the worst roads I have ever driven on, okay? I think it's a huge reason why I can't even drive Celine anywhere anymore, because she'll literally get motion sickness when I'm going to like the grocery store or to the park, because the roads are so bad. And on top of that, there is construction everywhere, and it's almost like there's no one ever working out there, so that is why it stays there for a very, very long time. I have lived here for almost a full year, and I feel like every time I go to certain like outlining towns in Houston, such as like League City or Pearland, literally the highways are just so congested with construction. It's disgusting, and they have not changed since I moved here. The last I checked, it doesn't take a whole year to finish one section of the highway. I don't understand. But yet I do understand because there's no state income tax, and I do know that that's something that is supposed to speed that up, right? Right. I don't know though, because California, you got some really bad roads too, and y'all pay state income tax. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. One thing I did forget to mention while I was filming was the traffic, which is absolutely horrendous. If you follow me on Instagram, you have totally heard me, rant about this topic. But Houston has a very extensive highway system. It's very efficient, but because of that and because of the population size here, there is an insane amount of traffic. If you are not a patient person, if you are not used to traffic, that's something to think about before you do move to Houston. Now, one of the other amazing pros of living in Houston, Texas is that you have access to so much fabulous food. I am a big foodie. I literally love everything from seafood to Chinese food to American food. It's just all here. It's all here. And literally anything you are ever in the mood for, it's probably here waiting for you. You just gotta Google it and I'm sure you're gonna find somewhere. I think I even read in an article that if you went to one restaurant every day for a whole year without going to the same restaurant, you would not run out of restaurants because there's that many restaurants here. I'm pretty positive that's what the article said. I'm gonna fact check that, but I'm pretty sure it said something along those lines. Now, a con of the food here is, I'm really sorry if this offends any Texans, but Tex-Mex, it ain't it, guys.
That's crazy, but it's true. Weezy out of here.
I'm sorry, it's not good. It's just not good. I am from California originally, and I am Mexican, so I know what, authentic Mexican food is supposed to taste like. And Tex-Mex is not Mexican food. I've ran into several Texans that are like,
it is Mexican food.
and I'm like, no, it's not.
And they're like, yes, it is.
And I'm like, no, it's not. It doesn't taste anything like real Mexican food. I mean, kind of, some dishes do, but most of them really don't. And they have these different things that they put on the beans and the rice, and I'm like, we don't do that, so it's not Mexican. But it's Tex-Mex, it's its own category. But personally, I don't like it. I think it's a ripoff of Mexican food, but that's just my personal opinion, so please don't come for me. All the other food here is amazing, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Tex-Mex. Another pro of living in Houston is that there is a lot of stuff to do here, and I also want to include around Houston. Houston is honestly such a big metropolitan area. There's so many little towns and cities surrounding it. So you could literally even leave Houston and still have a lot to do. Another thing I like about Houston is the location. It's very, I wouldn't say central, but it is a good starting point for wherever you want to go in Texas. Austin is a 3-hour drive from here. Dallas is a 4-hour drive from here. San Antonio is 3 hours from here. Galveston is an hour from here. So it's a lot of cool places that you can go to from Houston. Now, things to do in Houston, there's so many museums. There's so many cool interactive bars and breweries. I gotta say the breweries are pretty dope here. I can't lie, they're pretty dope. And there's so much to do because there's so many cultures in Houston. It's really cool to see how many cultures are represented here and how many people have been able to start businesses here and been able to thrive here. I really got to give Houston credit for that. I really thought that South Florida was one of the most diverse areas I've ever lived in, which it is. South Florida is very diverse. But Houston is equally, if not more diverse, which honestly makes it such an interactive and cool place to be, which I really appreciate. Another pro, and this is definitely true if you are in your 20s or just trying to start your career or trying to like invest in any properties, Houston, Texas, and Texas just in general is very affordable to live in. I know there's some areas that are spiking in price, such as Austin, and that's just because there's been an influx of people moving to those places. But overall, Texas is very, very affordable. Me and my boyfriend do split our rent, and I only pay like $700. So it's pretty affordable, I cannot lie. The gas is so cheap here. Lately it has been spiking, but overall it's very cheap here. Again, there's no state income tax, so you can really, grow your wallet while you're living here. And overall, there's just so many pockets and areas that you can live in. I do live in a little bit more of a pricey area, but I chose to live here and I knew that it was in my budget. But you can easily find a neighborhood that fits you and your budget here. So I definitely love that about Houston. Now, along with that pro, one of the cons is Houston can be pretty dangerous. Now, obviously, take that with a grain of salt because any big metropolitan area is going to be dangerous. LA can be dangerous, New York can be dangerous, Miami can be dangerous, Chicago can be dangerous. Just like all these other huge cities, Houston can be dangerous. Now, it all just depends on where you are, what time of day it is, the neighborhood that you're in, because Houston genuinely has just a lot of like pockets. I think that also just has to do with the fact that there are no zoning laws here. So literally you'll have one street right here with like skyscrapers, and then the street right next to it is like totally residential, which I don't think would fly in most areas or most cities, but here it does. And because of that, you are gonna have, specific neighborhoods where, one street could be totally like rainbows and daisies, while the other street right across the way isn't. So just like any big metropolitan area, Houston can be dangerous. That just comes with the package. There are a lot of safe places to live in Houston though, but just something to keep in mind if you ever want to move here. I like to keep a Houston specific news app on my phone that sends me notifications on like what's going on where in Houston. Bad things happen all over Houston, but honestly, I've never felt like I wasn't safe. I'm not very street smart, but I'm not stupid. I know where to not go and where to go. So just take that all with a grain of salt. Another pro, and this is also going to sound like a very adult pro, there's so many grocery stores here, so many options. Again, with the food, it's like amazing how many options you have in Texas. We got HEB, which is a Texas specific grocery store that you can only find in Texas. You guys, you just want to do a bag, you want to have your own grocery store, and I love you for that. I really do. We also got Kroger. I know Kroger is a parent company of a lot of other branches that you might be familiar with. We also got Walmart, of course. We got Costco. We got Randall's. We got Food Town. We got Fiesta. I could go on. There's so many grocery stores here. Some are, you gonna chill?
Oh, fun, little fatty. Pick up your booty. Pick it up. I'm gonna let her chill there.
But yeah, there's just so many options here, and I love that. Like, some days I want to go to HEB, some days I want to go to Kroger, other days I want to go to Costco. We just got so many options. And because there's so many options, there's literally a grocery store like every block. I swear, it's amazing. Once you get your own place and you're living your own life, you will appreciate having so many options, okay? Okay. But the last con that I am going to mention is that the weather here
It's not all that, guys. It's really not all that.
I have lived in California and Florida, and I genuinely gotta say it's like Florida weather and California weather came together and had this little bastard child that is Texas weather. It's like it gets so ridiculously dry here sometimes. Other times it's like really disgustingly humid. Like right now it's been pretty freaking humid the past few days. And there's hurricanes. I don't mind that too much, but overall the weather is just really bipolar here, and it's really kind of gross. It doesn't do anything for me or my hair, and I don't appreciate it. I really don't. Do you? She's like, I don't know, bro. I stay inside most of the time. But that's all I gotta say about the weather. Not much else. Nothing good. Really, nothing good. Shall I bring up the winter storm? Maybe I shouldn't. We're gonna leave that for another day. Watch that vlog if you're interested. I am gonna end on a more positive note, and this is just from my own personal like hobbies that I've grown to love about Houston. There are so many cool thrift stores here. I have found so many really cool places. I really can't lie, and I've been able to find some really unique pieces here as well, which I really appreciate. Well guys, that concludes my pros and cons list for living in Houston. If you want me to do a more specific video about apartment hunting here, or the prices of apartments here, definitely let me know down below. Now definitely subscribe down below, like this video if you are excited for my upcoming series. I have many more videos that are going to be coming your way. And click that notification bell so you can see when those videos pop up. I don't have specific timelines for everything, but there's a lot of exciting stuff coming, and I really hope you stick around to see it. But other than that, that's all I gotta say, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Celine is like in play mode right now.
She's like, mommy. She's like, mommy, play with me. Play with me.
And subscribe and like this video, especially if you are, ma'am, I'm trying to conclude this video. Thank you.